Hi, my name is Carole Bennett. I've got about 60 years of real life experience using cosmetics and using skincare products and things like that. And now I'm 74 years old and I thought, I think I'll sort of share some of that information with everybody because I love to make YouTube movies. Yay! Anyway, so I want to give you a little bit of background about myself first. When I was 13 years old, I was in a terrible car collision and hit the windshield of the car and had a lot of messed up faces. so my nickname in junior high was Scarface, a sweet name. But anyway, my mother felt sorry for me and let me use cosmetics at an early age, which I thought was really kind of cool. So I have had, seriously, 60 years of playing around with cosmetics and experimenting with different things. I have also very fair skin. I'm seriously a pale face. I've got the blue eyes, the British complexion, which is thin skin. And after frying my skin in the Southern California sunshine over many teenage years of brutal sunshine, I am now paying the price with having a lot of basal cell things removed from my face and my body overall. So now I wear hats and I look at cosmetics and care products with a whole different attitude than I did years ago. One of my philosophies that has developed more recently is that I use a lot of generic products, especially if I want to use them with abundance. Because if I tend to pay a lot of money for care products and makeup, I tend to use it sparingly, or I tend to not use it when it's fresh. So it's important to me. So like lotions and things like that, sunscreen especially, I like to use generic products that I can buy less expensive, and I just slather myself with sunscreen. The same thing with cosmetics that are close to my eyes. I like to get rid of them on a regular basis. I don't keep them around. Aging cosmetics has been a big problem for me over the years. Things that just get old, or if I get to the bottom of the container and the bottom of the container it ends up contaminating the product a little bit. So I like fresh things and I like to use things with abundance. So anyway, hear me out. I'm going to take you through my daily routine, getting my face ready, my face ready for bed. And as I wake up in the morning, when I take my shower, what happens to my face in my shower. And then I will show you a little bit of my cosmetic tricks. And you know what? If you have some ideas, if you think, oh, I wish she knew about this, or I wish she'd tell me about this, send them to me. Let me know. And maybe I'll do a sequel. I'd like that. I could use your name maybe if you want. Okay? It's time for me to get ready for bed, and I'm just taking my hair down and getting ready to wash my face and all that kind of stuff. I had an issue with losing my hair the last couple of years for various reasons. I found that Rogaine really works, believe it or not. I have this little container of Rogaine, and I use the Rogaine Mousse, which is the women's variety. I actually started out using, I'm going to fill up my little container here. You just fill up the lid. Whoa, there we go. I started out using my husband's oily version, and I think that's only the difference. The only difference between men and women's Rogaine is just the fact that men's is oily and women's is not oily. So I'm going to brush my hair out here like I do every evening. I love the quantity of hair I have now, which may not seem full to a lot of you, but it is very rich and full to me because my hair was so thin you could see my scalp. Okay, here's how I put my Rogaine on. I start over on the side. I push everything off to the side, and I start parting my hair from just from one side and going over the top. I'll show you how I do this. And you're not supposed to put it in your hand because it needs to be not the temperature of your hand. So I just put a little bit in there. I don't really fuss with it too much, and I part it and bring some forward. And I work my way across the top of the head like this. I've heard people say, well, aren't you worried that you're going to have hair growing out of your fingers? That is so absurd. You don't have any hair follicles growing in the ends of your fingers or in the palms of your hand or anything like that. That's not where your hair grows. So all this does is stimulate the existing hair follicles that have just quit working for you. You used to have hair growing out of them, and now you don't. So that's how I work it, just straight across the head like that. I'll do a few more and then we'll go on to something else. But I just wanted you to see how I work it out. Okay, that's the end of putting Rogaine on for the night. And I just pull it up into a ponytail. And by the time I finish, it's all dry. And I'm ready to go to bed. The next thing I do is to take off my eye makeup. And here again, this is one of using generic kind of stuff. This is a generic CVS baby oil. I use this, I think, again, I like to have it be clean and I like to use it abundantly. So I go for the generic stuff here. And just to tissue it off. I wash my face with Neutrogena bar soap. Go figure. Just washing my face with Neutrogena bar soap. And I wanted to introduce you to this one, AccuSoft. I love this. As I've said before, I've had issues with eye infections, so I want to make sure my eyes stay really, really clean. So I use a little bit of, can you see that? A little bit of eye soap there, and this is designed for washing your eyes. So I really do like to do this to make sure my eyes are very, very clean. Now to refresh with a little conditioning solution, I use the Skin Cuticles. It is for hydrating and cleansing. Give it a couple squirts on a little cotton ball. Next thing I do is put on Latisse. As I've said before, that my eyelashes have been thin, blonde, now gray probably, and Latisse is something that works for me. I don't think it works for everybody, but it keeps the eyelashes from falling out is basically all it does. So then it becomes, and I think it stimulates the hair follicles there too. And it enables your eyelashes to be as full as they can be, just barely. You need to moisten the end of the brush, that's it. And you don't really have to even do this every night. You can skip a night once in a while. You just barely get them wet, that's all you have to do, that's it. And honestly, this will work. Latisse, kind of expensive, as I said, kind of expensive. The thing I do is put a little moisturizer on there. This is Oil of Olay, Regenerist Luminous. Anyway, I don't know if it really matters what kind you have, but I think it's nice to have some kind of a moisturizing cream go on your face. You're supposed to use twice a day, so I use it in the morning and at night. And I use it, this Dermend gets rid of bruising. So I put it back here because I noticed that I've seen this on older women. Right in here, they get little patches. It looks like little bruises. The last thing I do is Aquaphor. This is for babies' bottoms, but it works for me for a lot of things. I put it on my lips. I put it around my eyes before I go to bed. Really grease up. Also put it on my fingernails before I go to bed. Backs of my hands, as I say, really grease up. That's it. Good night. I'm ready to go to bed. Good morning. I'm in the shower right now. I just put a little bit dab of Neutrogena Rain Bath on my hands just to wash my face. What I really like to do is scrub with my Neutrogena, and I just scrub my face every single morning of my life. I think I've done this. Have you noticed that my eyebrows don't wash off? Well, I cheated, and they are permanent cosmetic. I lost part of my eyebrow one time when I fell down and had stitches. It was a great investment. I love having my permanent cosmetics, my eyebrows, and my lips, believe it or not. Okay, I'm out of the shower, and I'm getting ready to use my very favorite thing. It's called an epilator. It kind of looks like an electric razor. It is absolutely not an electric razor. For postmenopausal women, you've got to get this. Get rid of that facial hair, and nothing looks older than having hair coming down off your chin and right around in here. It just looks awful. This actually pulls your hair out just as if, you know, you were waxing or something. So I'll show you how it works, and I'm not going to take you through the whole thing, but I pretty much take this over my whole face. I take it under arms. I do my actual arms. I do my arms and my legs, wherever there's that hair, and it just looks, old hair is nasty hair. Okay, there are two settings, and so I turn it on the slower setting for my face. Okay, I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing, but that's how I do it. I do it all the way on my face, my chin, and my neck, down in here, wherever there might be some hair. It doesn't pull out the little teeny tiny short facial hairs. That keeps you kind of natural with a little teeny bit of hair there. It's not like shaving, because shaving will make it they're cut off and they all grow out and look bristly. You don't want to do that. So this actually pulls them out, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, really, honestly, it doesn't hurt. Use this. This is, if you don't get anything out of this video, get an epilator and get rid of that facial post-menopausal hair. So I start out with a little bit of moisture in my eye every morning. Conditioning solution. I get this skin cuticles. I get this from the person who does my facial. That's what it's called. Like, just feels good. I love it. This is a real fine Dermend. I can't believe it. Dermend Moisturizing Bruise Formula. I found that back in here, I get some little teeny tiny bruises, and since I've been using this, it hasn't been as bad. I've just started using this. I really think it has potential. I just used, and I've got an oil of Olay here that is a moisturizer with just a little bit on my hands and put it over my face. It's time for makeup. I need it badly. One thing that I found that is a really good tip is this thing called Dr. Feelgood. You know, I'm not sure if this was designed for men, but it might be, but I love it. It's just sort of like a waxy looking thing, and I just get a little bit on the back of my fingernail like that. But it just fills in the pores. I've got a lot of big pores from when I was a teenager. I guess I used to pop my zits. What can I say? And so I've got a lot of big pores that I think are a result of just bad skin when I was a kid. So you can use this and not even follow up with makeup. If you have really good skin, but the only problem you have are just big pores, you can put this on and it's hardly even noticeable. But I'll have to say that it's probably the best stuff I've ever used. And I've tried a lot of concealing kind of things or bases. I don't know what they call them. But they're the what you put on beforehand, before you put your makeup on. For years I have used, upside down I guess, I have used Max Factor Pan Stick makeup as sort of a concealer for color. And I have just these really bad dark circles around my eyes. And being a pale face that I am, I sort of found that Max Factor kind of blends that in, gets rid of some of that dark stuff under my eyes, and anywhere else there might be a few little dark places. Okay, there we go. I'm not selling cosmetics for sure, but I have always been pretty happy with Clinique products. I have had a reaction, I guess is what you call it, a reaction to some makeups that I've tried over the years. And so I've keep coming back to Clinique. I like the way it feels, and I like the way it looks. It's just not too thick. And I've got a color that matches my little pale skin, and I kind of like it. Here is a little secret I found. This is a Mary Kay product. And my friend Patsy Fleisch, who's a representative for Mary Kay, put me onto this. And a little teeny dab is all you need. And I just love it. And you put it on after your makeup. It's just amazing. So again, I have these dark circles, but boy, for under the eyes, it is just fabulous. I love it. Barely a little dab. You don't need much. In fact, I could have used about half as much just now. The next thing I do is something I figured out myself, and that is put the sunscreen on after the makeup. Amazing what it does. You don't need much. I have just a little bit on there and just put it on afterwards. I like the fact, well, first of all, that it's a sunscreen, and I like to put on a little bit of moisturizer after the makeup, and it blends. It makes it more moist looking, doesn't have that dry looking effect. And I put on sunscreen every day anyhow. I sort of blot a little bit here just in case the sunscreen got a little bit too far up there, because I like to put my eye makeup on now and I need a little bit drier surface. Okay, the first thing I do is I put a little lightener or a white eyeshadow, and I found this one's called Urban Decay. What a gross name, but anyway, it's Urban Decay, and it's the nicest white I think I've ever found. It's just beautiful, and it's hard to use the iPhone here as my mirror, but I'm trying, and I'm sort of have to glance once in a while over at the real mirror in the back. The rest of my eyeshadow is just, I think you could probably use whatever you want. I use Clinique. It happens to be a Clinique brand here. And I use a color here, a light taupe, which is almost the same color as my skin. And I just blend it up like underneath the arch there. And this particular little package combo has a darker taupe. And so I use the darker taupe in the corners of my eye, the back corners. Now, this is kind of, I use a Q-tip for this one. I use a darker color, the darkest of the colors I use. And this looks kind of strange when I first do it, so bear with me. I make a little line in the back of my eye, just right along the crack there, where using the Q-tip, make another line here. Now, when I first started doing this, I used a smudge stick. And I was okay, but I was always sharpening the smudge stick, and it was really kind of a hassle. So now I just use a clean Q-tip every day, a fresh, clean one. I've had some problems with eye infections, like little styes in my eyes. Have you ever got those? Well, I finally figured out what they're from, and it's from old makeup or old, yeah. Sometimes if your brush has got old, or your the applicator, whatever. So now I know that looks funny. Don't let anyone see you like this, because it really looks strange. So take your brush. I wash this brush about once a week, but just, rub it off right now. And then smear everything around. Just sort of smear it all around. And then it all blends together. It looks really good that way. Okay, that's it. I take a little pad here and brush around just to make sure that sometimes you have little spare hairs that have fallen out of the brush. Make sure it's all smooth and there's no lines on anything. Good. That looks pretty good. I also add just a little bit of blush. I don't like much. I think blush can go a long way with an older woman. Sometimes it looks a little bit cheesy. I don't know. There. take the same thing, blend that out. Good, it's looking good. The lighting right here that I'm using is not professional lighting, so it doesn't look the best, believe me. Okay, I'm going to curl my eyelashes real fast. Give a quick curl. Get the most out of them. Got blonde eyelashes, which kind of need a little bit of help. I choose to use brown mascara, not black mascara. Black is a little bit too much, I think, for people who are old, pale, gray, or even blonde. I think it's a little bit much to have black. So dark brown or brown, whatever you can find. I use mascara by Maybelline because I like to make sure it's fresh. And I use less expensive products so that I can turn them over faster. I have a tendency to hang on to things if they're too expensive. Cheap, I guess, is what I am. And I hate to throw them away if they're too real expensive mascaras. And so that's where I've got into trouble in the past. If you have nice dark eyelashes, I wouldn't even bother with putting mascara on the bottom. I don't think it's necessary, but mine are blonde. You can't even see them. So I put 2 or 3 coats on the top there. Just keep going back and forth till it looks okay. I told you before that I have permanent cosmetics on my eyebrows, so I don't have to bother putting eyebrows on ever, ever, ever. That's it, over and done for the rest of my life. They'll put me in my casket and I'll still have my eyebrows on, just like I want them. I also have permanent cosmetics on my lips. Most of the time I just take Vaseline and just go like that, and that's it with my lipstick. But once in a while, if I want to really dress up, and I'll show you what I did find. This is a Chanel brand, and the Chanel brand has this amazing lipstick. It comes apart like this, and it's very moist. And it doesn't come off. It's just amazing. It just doesn't come off. And then there's a little brush at the other end with the glistening kind of thing. So that's it for my makeup. I still don't look all that great yet, but wait, I'll comb my hair and then I'll get back to you and we'll go over all the products, okay? Hang in there. I'm back now for a product review. And I'm just going to go over the highlights of things. I do recommend that you consider buying generic brands of things that if you don't find any benefits out of buying more expensive things, buy the generic brand, especially things like sun lotion, because you want to use that abundantly. And I like to buy things in quantity when I want to force myself to use them abundantly. I find that if I buy something that's really expensive, then I tend not to. I use it sparingly. Braun is the name of the epilator. I believe I bought it at Target. It may have been at one of those bed and bath stores. I'm not sure where I found it. But these last you for years, and they're just absolutely fabulous. I just love it. So be sure and get your Braun epilator. The eyeshadow, the Urban Decay, the strange name, Urban Decay, and also the Dr. Feelgood, I found at the Sephora store. Now, twice I've gone into the Sephora store and asked where the Dr. Feelgood is, and the people don't even know it exists. And so I have to ask the manager because it's there. It's just not a big brand name. It's tucked away someplace. They do have it, Dr. Feelgood, and then the Urban Decay, the white. Now, I love Rogaine. I just love what it has done for my hair. Rogaine works for me. This is the mousse variety for women, and I can see why I used to try. I started out using the men's oil version. It just makes your hair oily. I could go a few days without washing my hair this way. And Rogaine is just a foam. By the time you hit the sheets, it's dried, and so it's not a big problem with anything. Dermend is something I'm just recently trying. I'm finding lots of luck with. It's just great. This is it's to put on. My dermatologist told me about it. She's the one who has it for sale there at her little shop inside the dermatology place. And I've been putting it on, especially my shins and that little place back there where I have a tendency to develop little bruises, and my shins and the back of my arms, and it really seems to work. If I do get a bruise, it doesn't last as long, and then those long-term bruises seem to be going away. My little eye concealer that I use for the dark circles under my eyes is the Mary Kay product. If you don't know a Mary Kay representative, you can go online and then just click the state of California. And I would recommend you use Patsy Fleisch's name, because she's just been real sweet to me. So, and then the other thing that has worked well for me is Latisse, teeny tiny bottle. It's kind of expensive, but it does work for me. I'm not sure it works for everybody, but it's what I put on to make my eyelashes nice and full, and they stay in there. So anyway, I'm not pushing products like I said, but I just found that there wasn't enough here online for me as a senior citizen wanting a few beauty tips. And you know, if you have beauty tips you'd like to share with me, I'd love to hear from you. And maybe I'm going to put on the website, I'm going to put on the email for you to contact me and send me any beauty tips. And maybe I'll do a sequel. Who knows? Okay, maybe I'll mention your name if you want. Okay, thanks. See you. Thank you very much for this. And I was also thinking of doing one on body care. I think maybe I'll do a sequel on body care. I just love playing and making movies, and I love YouTube. Okay, bye.